Yo, there it goes. Facebook Live on and podcast audio recording along with the Facebook Live. There you have it. All right, let's see if we can't get this gosh darn deal shared around here. Get as least amount of air in the mix as possible. Shit. Huh. That was tough. Yeah, now you know what a fucking... Not only that, but you know a big part of what a fucking sound test is for. Do that,
yes.
What if we would have just went live like that?
That would have been horrible.
Yeah.
You would have been angry and taken it down.
Shit, yeah. Like, I had to do the fucking morning wine cellar. I couldn't do it twice. I didn't have time. I just had to... the Facebook audio had less air, so I had to delete my MP3, rip an MP3 from the Facebook audio, download that, re-upload that. Still has air, but it has less air.
The things we do for you people.
Yeah, just...
Well, the things he does for you people.
Trying to get the fucking wine cellar fucking office set up and whatnot. With what little bit of fucking time I have. I might actually have 2 days off this week.
Woohoo!
And then all the time that I've had, because obviously I haven't been doing 12-hour shifts, and I've been checking second and third shifts boards, they actually have people. That's why they're not even asking. So it's like, cool, but I put all that time to getting more episodes up.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe I might even find a way to narrow that down a little bit over here. You know. All right, now, you want to get to the show notes you had, so you can do headlines, because again, I keep missing your show notes.
Yes.
And then I do show notes, and then you're like, you didn't like my fucking show notes?
Right. You could just admit you didn't like my show notes, William.
And see them.
Lies.
I was in the Factory.
Whatever.
FAC Tory party.
FAC Tory. Okay. What?
They're Tories that actually use facts.
I don't think that's a thing.
Facts, B.
I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so Governor Northam. That's a horrible name, by the way.
Why that seems funny already.
Northam. Yeah, so he's from Virginia, signed a bill that basically will indefinitely detain people who are affiliated with human trafficking. Of course, the problem here is that, as usual, affiliated with human trafficking includes receiving money from the earnings of a prostitute, which means that if your roommate is a sex worker, if you're an adult child who lives with a parent who happens to be a sex worker, if you happen to be in a romantic relationship with a sex worker and they pay some of the bills or the rent, congratulations, you're a human trafficker who can be held indefinitely without bond.
Fuck that. If you're an office supply store where she got paper clips, then you should go to jail too, motherfucker.
You know, they actually can. That's a thing that they do. Like, people who like, the Nordic model is the way to go. That's actually, that shit they do.
So my snarky comment happens?
Yeah, like they actually threaten landlords. They're like, if you don't put this person out, if you don't evict them, we're going to arrest you. Yeah, so that's amazing. That's going to help a lot of people be safe, I'm sure. Because homelessness and not having a social network is a great way to stay safe. The final update, I think, of Permit Patty. She has resigned as the CEO of her cannabis product company. Yeah. You know, that one where they make weed for dogs or something. I don't know what's happening. It was too wet. I couldn't take it. Unhinged white woman assaults black teenagers at pool party. Again. We have another sex worker story coming out of Abu Dhabi. We will talk about that one after the trigger warning. A man in Florida committed a very heinous crime, but thought it was okay because he found what he was looking at on the internet. Take that for what you will. Let's see. Oh, developing countries face environmental crisis because the United States is amazing, awesome, and full of infinite wisdom, and is cutting funding to environmental cutting funding to environmental programs across the globe. Yeah. So the blow this would be a blow to developing countries, which already have had to compete for a smaller budget between 2018 and 2022. The overall budget, which has been replenished every 4 years, has fallen from $4 billion to just under $4 billion for this year. So, I mean, because climate change isn't real, we don't really need to worry about it, right? No?
Yeah, and the what was it, the French deal?
Yes, the Paris climate change deal.
Yeah, the Paris climate change. That was totally going far enough. That was all you needed, kids.
It was. Good cop arrested. You won't believe why. You will.
Why? Because he was mad that the homie Rachel logo came through and blessed us on the PayPal. Thank you for supporting Wine Cellar Media.
And then we have another update about the original case about, I believe his name was Timothy Coggins, I think, the black man who was killed in the 80s for associating with a white woman, the Georgia case. One of the killers has been to trial. That was the last update, was he was ready to stand trial. He has been to trial, has been convicted, and is getting life in prison without the possibility of parole. Yes, Timothy Coggins, October 1983 slam. Fletcher Sams. His last name is Sams. Maybe. Sentenced Frankie Gebhardt on 5 counts, including felony murder, aggravated assault, and concealing a death. Sams sentenced Gebhardt immediately after the jury delivered its verdict. Hopefully, sir, you have stabbed your last victim, said Sams. The verdict came almost 35 years after Coggins' mutilated and stabbed body was found near a power line in Sunnyside, a town about 30 miles south of Atlanta. The suspects arrested in the slaying were Coggins, who was 23, did they say they don't have the other guy's name? Gebhardt, who was the other guy? Where is it? I gotta scroll now and try to find it. The other guy, Bill Moore Sr.
The knockaround guy?
The knockaround. The other guys. The knockaround guy. The co-defendant, Bill Moore Sr., has not been tried yet. After his trial is over, and hopefully he's convicted, we can update you once again. So, yeah. I won't get into the details because we didn't do the trigger warning yet, but it was a pretty fucking gruesome case.
Jesus Christ. Well, fuck the damn.
Yes. Now, sisters and brothers, we know we got over by the blood, the sweat, and the tears of sheroes and heroes, some whose names we know and some whose names we do not know. But I'm going to tell you something. We have been here before. Now, the only difference is we got some company, Rev. We got our gay lesbian sisters and brothers with us this time. We got our Hispanic, Asian, Native American sisters and brothers with us this time. I think Dr. Reverend Martin Luther King said we may not have gotten here on the same ship, but we are in the same boat right now.
In Father Teresa's Wine Cellar, we believe all oppression is intersectional. And this means our analysis of current events frequently includes discussion of difficult and explicit content. Any combination of the following topics could be included in our show: murder, rape, war, climate change, racism, sexism, violence, sexual violence, homophobic violence, heterocentrism, discrimination and abuse against individuals of nonconformist sexuality, domestic violence, child abuse, child rape, child neglect, elderly abuse, verbal abuse, police brutality, microaggressions, ableism, cyberbullying, genital mutilation, ideological extremism, and people just being total fucking assholes.
All right, and it's on you as I still move this through.
Yes. Let's see. Oh, you want a fun little Becky Lives Matter story?
Yes.
Okay. An attorney from Atlanta is facing charges of obstruction and false imprisonment a month after she kicked out 2 Atlanta police officers from her Buckhead home and ordered her security guard to keep them from leaving her property. Attorney Lindsay Kamen turned herself into the Fulton County Jail Tuesday, a month after the incident, and remains there on a $10,000 bond, according to jail records. Officers arrived at Kamen's home on Tuxedo Road to question her about a pickup truck doing donuts in the neighborhood. Channel 2 Action News reported. Police said the truck was registered to someone in the home. Kamen then told her security guard, Jakaya Powell, to let the officers inside, but then at some point claimed she wasn't sure if they were real police officers. Kamen then kicked the officers out of her home and told Powell to block them in the driveway using her car. According to Channel 2, at some point, Kamen called 911 and the operators confirmed that they were legitimate police officers, but she wouldn't let the officers back into her home. When backup officers arrived at the property and asked Kamen why she didn't believe that the previous officers were real, she told them she didn't get a close enough look to see the guns on them.
You don't want to do that, Becky.
Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Don't try to get a close enough. What the fuck?
Sorry. According to her attorney, quote, Lindsay Kamen is not a criminal. She is a responsible citizen who was at her residence minding her business and taking care of her children when she legitimately believed the two people at her residence were impersonating police officers. She did exactly what the police tell you to do in such a situation. Get away and call for help. But yeah, you can't block them in your fucking driveway. What the fuck are you doing?
Hey, you can.
Well, yeah, obviously you can because she made it to jail and has lived to tell the tale.
Legitimate imprisonment.
Kamen's attorney said his client doesn't own the vehicle in question and is confident charges will be dropped. Powell was also arrested for obstruction and 2 counts of false imprisonment, according to Fulton County Jail records. She has since bonded out. The security that employs Powell has suspended her pending the outcome of the investigation.
Jesus Christ. So that's what's going on, folks.
Yes, that's what's happening. I know, that story is just fucking funny to me. You let them in your house, they identify themselves, you're like, yeah, but no, I'm not sure you're actual police, get the fuck out. So then they go to leave, and then you have your security guard, because you just have a fucking private security guard on your fucking premises, block them in your driveway and not let them leave, call 911, 911 says, yeah, them's our niggas. You still won't let them back in your house, and more police show up, and you're like, what? How was I supposed to know they were real? I didn't see the guns. That's funny to me.
You don't want to see the guns.
I mean,
that sounds like some fucking weightlifting t-shirt. It does.
Don't see the guns.
You don't want to see the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have one for, like, when I fucking... Actually, if this non-overtime continues, I will have time to hit the weights again, and I can wear my t-shirt. I flex, but I like this shirt.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. All right.
I have another one. It's something like, you can't get these guns through airport security. They're funny. Really? I got them at resale shops for like $1. Yeah, I got another one that's from that movie, Dazed and Confused. You'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Whatever.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And yeah, Michael Wright from the Something in Common program posted up in the joint. He sees Permit Patty. I shared a meme from Michael Wright and Kimberly Nicole over at the Something in Common program. The shit, it was just funny. Like Michael Wright typed over it. He said, like, this is me and Kimberly at the dinner table. And it's a picture of Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King. Mm-hmm. And Martin Luther, he's looking at her like she said some goofy shit. And she's looking off into space and just said, I'm just trying to figure out why you having dreams and they're not about me.
Mm-hmm. I think wasn't that going around during the fuck was it like if the civil rights movement existed during Twitter or some shit? Like remember that shit? That shit was fucking funny.
A lot of niggas would have got shot way earlier. Niggas would have been preemptively shot like a father mother, and y'all niggas that like the people who actually are activists and use the social media. Oh, don't think you're not being surveilled like a father mother.
Yeah. Black identity extremists.
Yeah, they got your ass. They got your ass on your ass. All right, so Bernie Sanders was working with Donald Trump. It's plausible. That's the title of this episode, because that shit was funny to me. That shit was funny. I was at work. I think it was like the end of the workday.
Yes.
Yeah, like it was the end of the workday, and then I go and post up in the cafeteria, and I wait for you to get there.
Yes.
And while I'm there, I'm like, let me take a look. Maybe something is coming up in the old Facebook news feed. you know, and and it was Rashinii logo of the Single Simulcast program, and he's got ideas. He said, there's a quote he put in the Facebooks. I'm really starting to think that Bernie was also working with Trump. Promise pie in the sky shit, split the Democratic vote, get people to look at Hillary as the real problem. It's plausible. That's what he was all about. He spent 7 decades existing, working toward this. This was the idea. What? He's on to something. You wish you had ideas like this.
No, I don't.
Yes, it is.
Don't. I like, there's so many things wrong with it. See, and I think that this is, like, where you get that, like, separation between people who watch, like, news sometimes, like, maybe while you're eating dinner, you don't really, you know, and then people who are, like, fucking news nerds, right? Because the people who are, like, news nerds, they were talking shit about Hillary since the 90s, I promise, you know, like, the people, it's just that Twitter wasn't around, you know what I mean? And like Facebook wasn't around, but it's like this shit they're talking now was the shit they were talking then, right? When she was fucking voting with the DOMA vote, niggas was talking shit then, but Twitter wasn't around then. So it's like, I think that people are so kind of broken off in their little, like, echo chambers and shit, like, you don't actually know what other people were saying then. Because then it's like that, literally, like, you had to be there because there isn't that social media record. But yeah, they knew who Bernie was long before the primaries, and they hated Hillary long before the primaries. But
it's not just that. It's like it's a corporate controlled hierarchy of an echo chamber. Like, there's a caste system to it.
Yes.
Like, there's a reason why MSNBC will not do a "what the fuck is wrong with Walmart" segment, because Walmart pays for advertising. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why now don't put this specifically to MSNBC, but they do air this program, the Weekend program. I have not watched that shit in so long that it fucking left me.
I don't know.
There's a Weekend program. It comes on NBC. And John McCain has been on it, like, more than anybody in, like, 2013 and 14.
I don't know.
All right. Well, Chuck Todd hosted on MSNBC though now, so maybe you can Google.
Oh, the Chuck Todd show.
Yeah. Well, he hosts a show that comes on the fucking weekend, and it only comes on Saturday and it re-airs on Sunday. Meet the Press.
Oh.
Why Meet the Press will not do a "what the fuck is wrong with BP" segment, because BP buys ad space. They won't do a "what the fuck is McDonald's doing," giving their employees advice on how to get welfare and a second job as a way of managing their money.
Right.
Remember that shit? It was McDonald's tips on managing your low wage. Get welfare and a second job. Why didn't they do a segment on that? That would really appeal to the type of people that vote Democrat top and bottom.
Right.
Right? Like, but no, they won't do that because McDonald's buys advertising space. So these are corporations, so that media is corporate controlled. Mm-hmm. And Melissa Harris Perry, Joy Ann Reid, I know I'm hitting you in your identity politics right now. They're controlled by that corporate influence. Right. And then that gets passed down to what you think is independent media, like Elon James White. Melissa Harris Perry was at Elon James White's wedding. Right. She's had him on her show multiple times. Mm-hmm. He makes money off of the fucking exposure that she gave him. You think he's going to step on those toes and talk about who she's not allowed to talk about? And then Elon James White's energy feeds down for a couple years into Black podcast world through his popularity from corporate sponsorship via Melissa Harris Perry, and then that feeds down into Rashinii making this Facebook post. Right. So it's not like, so I don't think Rashinii sits there and stares at MSNBC all day and gets this. Mm-hmm. It got passed down.
Well, there's like, this has kind of been conventional wisdom for a little bit with Bernie. It's something I've seen a lot on Twitter with like the so-called like centrist Twitter or donut Twitter. right?
Tell them why they're donut Twitter real quick.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so something like, I'm trying to remember the whole story now. That's how uninteresting it was at the time. I believe Nina showed up to an event and they like wouldn't let her in because she didn't like call first or something, and because they're very important and focused on identity politics, and that's why they wouldn't let a black woman in. And so like they just basically handed out donuts to her and her supporters. And so now of course she was upset and was like, hey, I had things to say, and the Democratic Party is fucking with me, the corporate leadership is fucking with me. And like centrist Twitter was like, haha, donuts. And now they all have like little donuts in their names and shit. And it's,
Remember, because they listen to black women.
They do listen to black women.
Okay.
So, yeah. So like, donut Twitter and all that. And like, that's something they've been saying, is that they think that Bernie has been working with Trump, so like I've seen this from a few different places, but it's like wild to me because it doesn't even make sense. Like, how can this be? And like, I love a good conspiracy if you can connect the dots, right? Like if you can actually make a plausible theory out of it. But it's like, so when Trump was saying, bring back the death penalty, kill the Central Park Five, Bernie was in high school classrooms saying that there's a problem with racism as far as voter suppression and in the criminal justice system, the way black people are sentenced. It seems really difficult to me that when one person is saying lynch the niggers and the other person is saying, hey, there's racism in our prison system, that they're in cahoots together.
Well, that's where Bernie has something in common with Hillary Clinton. See, he was evolving. Like he was getting his racist legs. He wasn't ready yet. He wasn't out with the cocoon yet. Okay? Jesus Christ, can you let a guy fucking learn how to be racist?
No.
Holy shit.
No.
Let some people have things so you can't forgive him for his past lack of racism.
No.
That's just like you fucking Bernie bros. Fucking Bernie bros.
But yeah, like that shit. And like, it's wild to me when people are like, but he, was helping Trump. And it's like, I'm going to need some specifics. I need some details. It's just like, well, Hillary lost, therefore he was helping Trump. And it's like, that's not. What?
You want to tangent real quick and then get back into this thread because it's amusing. And then he made another post, and then we'll get to the real news. But I thought this shit was dope, and I think it was a good way to fucking talk about how these bad ideas get passed down.
Yes.
Michael Wright, Something in Common program, he posted a question to you in the archive chat space.
Yes.
Phoenix Kalita, what are some of your favorite conspiracy theories? You have two.
My favorite conspiracy theories.
That Alex Jones actually is the globalist. And he just wants to make conspiracy theorists look wacky.
Oh, Alex Jones is he doesn't make them look wacky though. He normalizes them. He is definitely the conspiracy theorist. I'm gonna get back to you on that. Have to.
Saved by the Bell is actually Zach Morris just falling asleep. Every episode is just him having a dream.
He's falling asleep every time?
Yeah. That's every episode is just him waking up from a dream, and then he got saved by the bell and has to go to school.
No, wait, wouldn't have fallen asleep in school and been saved by the bell so he can leave and not get in trouble for sleeping in class?
I don't know, but there is a fucking page called Zach Morris is an asshole. Something like that.
Yeah, like Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah, there it is.
Like, remember the time that Zach Morris, blah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, I don't use the term trash like that though, because I'm so used to that being like a hip hop diss word, like using it all encompassingly ish. It's not really my deal. There's Jan Loco over there with the business.
Encompassingly ish. All right.
Yeah, I was looking through Jan Loco. I was looking through some of my old like pictures and memes I got stashed away. I got some old book ones that I forgot to ever post for you.
Oh shit.
Michael Wright seen that page and said that ish is hilarious.
Hilarious-ful?
That's a real word. That's a fact. Jan Loco's in there. She reads more books than you. She knows. She's seen that word all the time. So somebody named Jason Cherry responded to this post about how it's plausible and said, I can see how you would think that, but his career over the past 40 years would dispute that. And then Rinky L. Hines of the Americans United Again program, he said, not really, but okay. His career, his strategy of saying the right thing sometimes and doing the wrong thing most of the time is right in step with this theory.
What?
It is. That's what, like, you know, often Bernie Sanders is just out there fucking shit up.
I don't, like, that doesn't make sense.
He's a bad hombre.
But okay, he is a bad hombre. Oh, why did I shared it on the Reading in the Shade page? Somebody tweeted and said something like, if all Mexico's doing is sending us rapists and drug dealers and gang members, but you're also scared immigrants are taking your jobs, what the fuck is your job?
Congressperson?
That was the first comment after
Oh,
I posted it too. Somebody said senator.
No.
Oh no. The followers of the page get me.
Stand-up comedian / America's favorite dad? Is that your job? Cop? No, not just any cop. A good cop. Fucking... So Jason Cherry responds to Ricky L. Hines of the Americans United Again program, of which I think the last episode of that program was the most qualified candidate. It was about Hillary Clinton.
Okay.
And Jason Cherry said, can you give me some examples of him doing the wrong things? And Ricky L. Hines said, it's a long list. 1, his public stances on reparations while campaigning to economic equality. 2, support for a pro-life candidate solely because said candidate was running on his economic agenda. 3, making that long and ineffective and worthless speech on the Bill Clinton crime bill only to vote for it. I could actually go on, but that should be enough. Like, if that's enough for Sanders, which, I mean, about 3 of those points are bullshit, but if that's...
There's only 3 points there.
Well, you know, a lot.
A lot.
He says the right thing a lot, but does the wrong thing more, and you have a whole 3.
Yes.
Which the first one, let's remember what he said when they said, are you for reparations?
Great.
He said no.
But?
And then he proceeded to make a list of how he would enact reparations. Because those of you who think you know strategy think it's smart to use the word reparations. That word ain't gonna motherfucking work. Just have the fucking the actions and call it White Lives Matter, actually. You want to get that shit passed quick.
Yeah.
Because people just go by the names of shit. Think about it. The names of shit. Are pro-lifers actually pro-life? No. Fuckface. Do police actually serve and protect? No. It's just the names. Phrasing. Put the phrasing out there.
Slogans and marketing.
Sloganry. Sloganomics, my nigga.
Yes. Yeah, what did Bernie actually say? He said, no, I don't believe in reparations, but we should definitely make it a priority to start investing in businesses and education in Black neighborhoods. And we need to start giving business loans to Black business owners in Black neighborhoods. And we need to. It's like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
While Big Hill Dog just got up there and just at the first so-called debate, we need a new deal for Black people. That is such a flat fuck sentence.
Doesn't it count as a new deal if you already had one that left Black people out?
Yeah, but this one is going to, like, expressly leave you out. You know, the last one we just called it the new deal and we just didn't fuck with you. This time we're telling you this is a new deal for Black people to get gentrified out of your neighborhoods. We gotta get rid of you. And Jason Cherry said, oh, thank you. So apparently Jason Cherry is easily swayed.
Well, I don't know. Or maybe it just didn't feel like getting back to... Okay, but hold on. So can we talk about the rest of these, though?
Yeah.
Okay, so supported a pro-life candidate because the candidate was running on his economic agenda. That candidate also happened to be running as a Democrat. So for me, because I am more concerned about the disease than the symptoms, my question would be, why did the Democrats allow a forced birth asshole to run on their ticket under their name? Bernie supported that person because they were Democrat. Not what I would have done personally. I can't say I'm like with Bernie, but that was the Democratic nominee. So, do you not support the Democrat? Because I thought we were doing this vote blue no matter who thing. We're not doing that anymore? We are doing it? I don't know. I don't know what we're doing.
That was lavender. That was not. It wasn't blue that time.
It really blue that time.
What?
But no, I mean, like, that's the question though, is like, yeah, okay, fine. If you want to like critique Bernie for support, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad about it. But then I would also like to know if you're also questioning the Democratic Party in and of itself. Why are you allowing forced birth assholes to run under your platform, under your name? Is that who you want representing you?
And Michael Wright's a fool. He in the comments section, he said, I don't think it's too far-fetched that two old white men are accused of each other. It's plausible. And the funny thing is, on some level, now this is, now it seems like I'm saying her name.